Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of This Is Our Life. See if I can. I don't know if that's any better with a balding head. Yeah, maybe if we shine it over there. Okay. So I made a new friend on Facebook. My new friend has lived in San Antonio. My new friend is from Texas or from San Antonio. Um, I could sit here and give you uh, Tom T. Hall. I like beer. This is Guinness. I don't like regular beer. I won't drink that stuff. It's nasty. But anyway, um, so I'll give you a brief rundown of my life in Texas, not my life in Asia and Europe and wherever. I mean, look, I dislike Texas, but that's just me, and it's because I lived there for 40 years. Although I do miss the food. Gosh, the Mexican food in San Antonio and the barbecue all over the state. Oh my. You, you you don't know food until you've been to Texas. Believe me. So my years in Texas, we moved to Texas in 1972, a week after my 8th birthday. How about that? We moved to Alief, Texas, which back in those days was still, it was predominantly a farming community, although the suburbs were starting to encroach. And there was this old boy, and he lived in a shack on the side of Bel Air Boulevard. Now, Bel Air Boulevard used to end in Alief. It ended. That was it. It was a half hour into Houston. And that's if there was no traffic, which usually, I mean, out in Alief, there was no traffic in those days. But I lived in Alief off and on for 11 years. My mom and sister lived in Alief those entire 11 years. During those 11 years, I spent about a year in Mineral Wells at a place called Edgemead. I spent the summer in Bel Air General Hospital Psych Unit. I spent a few months at Houston International Hospital, which I've made a video of recently, about recently. Austin State Hospital for about a year, which would have been 72, 73. And the Devereaux Foundation in Victoria, Texas for 3 years, 2 stints. First time I was there was a year. Second time I was there 2 years. I have to tell you though, the piney woods are beautiful. We have dense forest up here, which frankly our forest I think is a lot better than even the piney woods, but the piney woods are beautiful. My the people I call my grandparents were my elementary school principal's parents. They lived out in Hempstead. They had a farm, and they had a couple of gators who visited their pond out in the back. They go horseback riding, and I was down there fishing with Grandma once, and I put my legs over the pier, if you want to call it a pier. It was maybe 10 feet, 10, 15 feet long. And I said, Grandma, can I go swimming? And I was a country boy. I mean, I go swimming. I just strip down to my tidy whities and jump in the water, eh? Well, Grandma said, no. The way she said it was like, oh God, what did I do wrong? And she said, you ask Miss Hunt when she comes down. So I asked Miss Hunt, and she said, nah, I used to let my boys swim there. But then she said, look over yonder. Yeah, a couple of gators over there, pretty big ones too. So I didn't get to go swimming in there, and after that, I pick my legs up. And we go riding the horses back up in there, and whenever we would cross the creek, and I'd pick my well, I'd be looking down there, like, oh my gosh, this gator's gonna jump up and take me and the horse. This is John Boy right here. This is John. He sees a moth. Um, so anyway, I went to this barber shop in Alief for 11 years, and they knew me. They didn't even have to ask how I wanted my hair cut. Back then, I was clean cut and short hair. And I was a kicker. No, I was a kicker. Um, now I'm a redneck. Um, and then we moved to just outside a little town called Ingram, up in the hill country, which is not that little of a town anymore. And we lived there for about 3 years. And then we moved to another little town for a few months north of San Antonio. I don't remember the name of the town, but there are actually several towns in Texas where there are at least two towns by the same name. There are several places like that. And this was one of those places that we lived north of San Antonio. And then we moved to San Antonio and lived there in '86, I guess it was. And I lived in San Antonio, Balcones Heights. There were some times I just lived in Bexar County. I didn't technically live in San Antonio or any place else, just in Bexar County. But anyway, so I love a puffy taco right now. Gosh, you can't get real Mexican food. You can't get real food, period, up here. The food's bland up here.